So let's get things running. Chat is good. Chat is good. Come on, chat, show up. We like to see the chat. Huzzah! There we go, we can see the chat. Let's close that. Hey, good evening, everybody. So for our next Photography 101 little topic, we'll be covering how to get the perfect white balance in every single photo that you take by using something that is called a gray card. So what is a gray card? So a gray card is a little card that looks like this. They come in a set of 3, and you can use these in your photos to get perfect white balance. And I'm going to show you how, and I'm going to show you why. So you get 3 cards in the set that I link in the video description. You get a white one, which is pure white. You get a black one, which is pure black, and you get a gray one, which is natural gray. So when you do your photo editing and you have this in your photo, you can use your white balance picker. I'm going to show you how in Lightroom and as well as in Photoshop on how you can use this to get perfect white balance on all of your photos. So a white balance card set like this costs about $200, and it is the best investment I have ever made into getting perfect photos in my sessions, because I like good white balance, because perfect white balance will give you good skin tones and give you natural pleasing colors, which is very, very important. So let me show you how this looks and how this works. So on the Camera Stuff website, we have the GC white balance set. You get 3 little cards with a little black lanyard. I've got a white or a red one because I kind of misplace mine quite a lot, so it just works a bit easier for myself. But we take that, and this is our session from today, which you did see earlier today as well, and we're going to go to a photo where we have our white balance cards. These little ones, they're in the photo, so let me show you how you use them. So you place these cards. Let's go to develop, and let's mess up the white balance completely. There you go. So you place these little cards in your scene, and if you're using Lightroom and you want to use these cards to get perfect white balance, where you change your temperature and tint on the right hand side on Lightroom, there's a little picker tool, white balance selector tool. If you click that, it'll give you a little thing that you can click on random places in the scene to get white balance from. So if we click on the skin tones, it's going to give us a weird colored skin tones and stuff as such. It doesn't give us the correct white balance. If we use that same tool again on the red, it's going to give us the incorrect white balance. But if we use the same picker tool on the gray card, which is in the set, this happens. Ta-da! Perfect white balance for our scene. And from here we can make adjustments. We can adjust the white balance to taste or things as such, but we can also use the eyedropper tool again on the white card, and will still give us the same thing more or less. Use it again on the black card, it'll give us a more natural one. So we've got 3 options to sample our white balance from when we use this little set of cards. For our scene, if we use the white one, it's a little bit too yellow for my taste, but if we use the darker one, it looks more natural. And now here's how you correct in Lightroom your entire session's photos after you have made that correction on one photo. With the photo selected, which you've now corrected, I'm going to go a little bit bluer on my tones. There you go. Just easier to see. Now let's do full on like this. We can hold down the shift key, and in the bottom we can, with this photo selected, we hold down shift and click the end photo, last one in the range, and then we click on sync. Sync's going to give us a whole bunch of options, but we only want to sync white balance. So let's check none, and in our basic there's white balance, and we click synchronize, and there you go. At the bottom, all of them have now received that white balance fixed. So we can go to every one of these photos and they'll look exactly the same because we've now fixed our white balance. That's just how easy it is to do that in Lightroom. So now let's jump over to Photoshop and do exactly the same thing. So let's go to Photoshop, right click this photo from the session, open with Photoshop. Now let's just close Lightroom first. There we go. And we're going to select this photo in our library. Right click, open with Photoshop. I guess I want to use Photoshop. Open. Cool. And now in Photoshop, we're also going to correct our raw file. Remember, you can only correct white balance on your raw files. This does not work on a JPEG file because JPEG files do not allow you to correct white balance in post. So there you go, our photo is open. We can mess around our white balance completely, and in Camera Raw, when you open up your raw files, on the right hand side you've got light, color, effects, curve, and a whole bunch of other options. We're going to go to color, and here we can change our temperature as well as our tint. But it also has the dropper tool. If we click on the white balance tool and we go to our little gray card and we click on the gray card, ta-da, it's fixed our white balance for us. Now we can compare this to Lightroom and we can see how those line up, because the entire idea is that we get consistent results between software and all these other things as well. So in Lightroom, come on Lightroom, open up. This is a photo from Lightroom where we've now corrected our white balance, and this is a photo from Camera Raw. If we put them side by side, just make it smaller, then you'll see that they line up correctly because we've now corrected the white balance, and that is because we're using these little cards. Stupid cheap, well, that's loud. Stupid cheap little gray cards like these can save your ass because they allow you to get perfect white balance. Yeah, we need to drop the highlights a little bit to get some skin tones and stuff back on our edit, maybe increase the contrast a little bit as well, and maybe just drop the overall exposure a little bit. There you go. So we can correct the files from here, but now because we've used these little cards to get our white balance correct, that means that we will now have the correct white balance for our entire session. We can also adjust this to taste. So this is our correct white balance, but let's say I want a more cooler feel to my photos. I can literally just go to my temperature, move towards the left a little bit, and there we go. So it's all depending on taste, but we always want to start with getting the correct white balance and then adjust from there. We can play with our exposure, saturation, all these other things as well. So we can make this very saturated like this, and we can get our white balance again, and you see saturation does destroy your skin tones. Let's reset our saturation. Let's just close Camera Raw in the back because that is eating up quite a little bit of resources. And close. No, I don't want to hide you, I want to close you. Yeah, I know, I want to close. Goodbye. Close Photoshop. Anyway, I'm going to do this on this. So remember, when you make your adjustments to your saturation later on when you do your editing for your background and stuff, notice our skin tones, they will also be affected. Same with saturation, vibrance, all these other settings, they will always affect our skin tone. But as long as we use this little card, we can always get perfect skin tones every single time by a click of a button. And that's just how cool it is. And then from here we can do our slight adjustment towards the blue because I like bluer tones more myself, and we're done. That is how easy it is to fix your white balance across all of your different photos. In Lightroom, Photoshop, unfortunately not. You need to do them one by one. Let's just go through the set here. I do believe I might have another photo where we did a recheck of the white balance as well. Here we go, this one, number 70. So let me go find number 70. There we go, it's photo number 70. And on photo number 70, we're going to click our white balance selector tool again, find the gray card, and click it, click it, click it. See, it's easy as that. And then it is a little bit overexposed, so let's just bring down the exposure. But as you can see, we now have perfect skin tones using a little tool that only costs you 200 bucks. Definitely worth it. So the reason we redid the white balance is the light changed, because remember, when you use this on your scene, it will only affect the photos on your scene for your specific settings and your specific lighting conditions and your specific scene. once you change your scene, you need to redo your white balance, because every scene will have different white balance because of the way that the sun shifts, the way that the different colors in your scene affect your subject's skin tones. A lot of green from the forest, as an example, will give a green tint, so we definitely need to redo our white balance every single time we move the subject around the forest, as an example. It's just the easiest way to get the perfect and correct skin tone every single time. So there you go. Hope that was helpful. This is just a very short video in regards to how to use these little gray cards to get the best color tones that you can, because it's very important that you know how to use small accessories and tools like these, because they'll make your life easy. And I mean, it's like a little cheat code. You want to get perfect skin tones and stuff? Use a freaking gray card. It'll save you a heap of time when you do editing. So anyway, hope that was helpful to somebody at least. I know I'm going to be sending this video to one person that did specifically ask for this, but hopefully this was helpful to anybody else that might need some more information on how to get perfect skin tones every single time. Just have some fun. Anyway, keep well. Hope this was helpful, and that is how you use your tiny and super effective little gray cards. I freaking love them. Mine's on red because I keep freaking losing them. It's hard. They're so small, but they're so cheap it's easy to replace. Anyway, keep well.